because originally we signed up just to do a panel, and then we got a booth, so now we're doing the panel. But you know, we're still doing it. You guys are here, so thanks for coming. But yeah, you guys, some of you have been with us all day in the booth, so it's great to see you here. But if you're watching at home, hello in the world out there. Good to see you. Look great. So yes, so the title of this panel is Warframe is all content stream-worthy, because of course we're at TwitchCon where we talk about streaming. But who are you going to be talking to today? The answer is these three people. So without further ado, let's start with you, Mogamu. What's up?
Oh, who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
My name is Mogamu. Wait, alright, I'm Mogamu. You can find me on bing.com. You just search for me. Oh God, please don't get me started. I've been making Warframe videos for 4 years plus. Yeah. YouTube/Mogamu. I've recently gotten way more to my Twitch. And that's you. Twitch.
You got it.
Very nice. I'm Megan Everett. I am one of the community managers at Digital Streams, where we make Warframe, where I know 90% of you in the room right now, as well as you two, very closely. So,
and I'll be moderating. I put the presentation together.
What's your name?
My name is Rebecca Ford. I do live operations and community at Digital Streams, and we make Warframe. So, with, you know, it's a little game. We've been on Twitch since February of 2013, so we think we have a little bit to talk about and share. If you're here professionally, if you're here because you like Warframe, or if you just don't really know what it's all about, we'll tell you a little bit about our story, ask some questions, and I actually have just received a message. If anyone lets their cell phone in the Warframe booth, I've just received a message. Is it yours? I don't know, I just was told there's a phone there. So there you go. This is also a lost and found panel. So if anyone else lost anything, we'll get you covered. So someone's phone is in the booth, and if it's you, you don't have a phone. There you go. All right, so Warframe. Who here actually knows the game Warframe? Okay, so I don't need to explain it. This was my explain the game slide. But what is Warframe? So actually, maybe Mogamu can tell us, how did you actually hear about Warframe and what got you interested in it?
You know what? It's been so long ago, I didn't know anything about Warframe. I was playing Left 4 Dead, and a couple friends of mine were like, we're tired of Left 4 Dead. So I searched for online co-op game, and it was like the third thing. This is like March 20, no, this is like January 2013, yeah. And it was in the search result, I had never heard of it, and we gave it a try.
Yeah, and now it's almost 5 years later, and you're still playing. So.
Everyone knows what Warframe is. Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean.
That's the thing, a lot of people really don't. Warframe is a game that, yes, we have a booth here now and stuff, but it's still really under the radar, I think. Okay, so you guys are all gamers, obviously. Would you say that Warframe as a game is probably more under the radar, or do you think the latest update has sort of changed things for the game? Okay. I can't use the under the radar line anymore. That's the only time I get to say that word.
That's
all right. All right, well that's all right. So, Warframe, did you, when we were making it, and we didn't really know what streaming would become for the game, and it's still, to this day, we still don't really know how much of a stream potential the game has, but for us up here, all of us stream Warframe. More than 90% of the room stream Warframe, I think. And I think the main question that this panel wanted to ask was, is all Warframe content stream-worthy? And I know I have my own thoughts on this, and you guys probably do too, so let's just, a broad starter question. Is
streamer first.
Streamer first, oh God. So,
and you can say no, I won't decide, I just need to say why.
Is all content, well, there are tons of different types of streamers. I think this whole section over here are doing some great things, like from podcasting to charity to, I mean, you name it, they're doing it. I'm trying to kind of experiment some stuff like they are, but yeah, I think different people have had different approaches, and I've seen people like all of it. So it seems like the question is yes. Yeah,
your confidence is.
I'm confident. Yeah, the question is yes. There's some great things being streamed.
Yeah. From a developer point of view for myself, considering we make the content, but it to me feels like everything is stream content worthy because you can change it in so many ways. Like I see Zombie, who's one of the best speedrunners in Warframe, and it's one of the hardest things to do, and he can, take a game that, you can take a game that you've been playing for years and you completely give it a refresh, new look by doing something like speed running. So I know a lot of people think that maybe, not everything is stream-worthy, but when you take it and you make it your own and you do something different with it and you find a new way to make it fun, like I I love speedruns. I think they're amazing. I could never do it because I would cry when there's like a timer. I hate that stuff. Yeah, but if you can make it and make it your own, then I think everything can be stream worthy as long as you make it fun for yourself. Like I would hate someone to force themselves to play content just because it's the game that they play. When you make it your own and you love what you're doing, it's going to be content that is stream worthy, in my opinion.
I think we're at this really tricky moment with Warframe now where a lot of people are experts at the game, you know, because you in particular, you've been playing it, you know, you've been doing content for Warframe for a long time, and now we're seeing a lot of people really just get into it because of the expansion we did. And we are going to talk about Planes of Eidolon at the end. I planned this panel before it released, and then it released, and I was hoping it would be successful, so I have slides that sort of say it was, so. I hedged my bets on it a little bit, but, and then I made one last minute change. But anyway, I think it's really tricky for us because when we release content, we do it so regularly, multi-platform. And if you're a streamer of Warframe, I think, what do you think your viewers come to yours? Like for us, this is sort of like an internal versus external coverage conversation now, because for us, internally, we need to create streams for our community, and they can be informative or they can be entertaining. And then for you, do you think you always go for entertaining or do you go for information? And at this point in Warframe's lifespan, when so many new people don't have any idea what's going on, does that change the way you cover the game?
I think it has to be a mix. I think some people will come for information and then get bored, so you have to do the entertainment side of it. And some people will come for entertainment, but then they don't understand stuff, so you have to do both. So it's just like this weird balance between trying to show people stuff about the game, help them get through things, but also you gotta have a meme or something, or something to keep people's attention, because it's very like community driven, I think it is. So people will take one joke, like I've seen that some quiet show videos. But people will like information, and then they want to have that joke or that thing that kind of brings people together. So you have to have a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially after 4 years.
Yeah, a mix after 4. I know it's co-op, so you're never really competing, but I'll see what my next slide is here. Right, so, you know, this is just the questions that we basically just asked. Yeah, and I think this is one really big thing for Warframe is for a game like ours, we change things, but we also add things. Do you prefer covering changes or additions in your streams? And that goes for both of you.
Oh.
Yeah, you stream it. So
It's
you
true,
do
I
it.
do. I mean, new stuff is always going to be exciting, and it's going to really give the stream that you're doing a purpose. But there's fun in just casual. When we do the console streams, so Xbox One at One personally, it's always pretty casual. The console crowd and the family there is really amazing, and we just kind of shoot the shiz. Sorry, I didn't know if I could say that. Okay, sorry. So it's super casual, but when an update does come out, it's like, oh great, now I can play that, and like people can learn about it. So it definitely changes things. I know for prime time, considering there's like a line, like Xbox 101, pretty casual. Prime time, a little bit more informative, a little bit more on the cusp. But for prime time, we try to keep it informative and kind of teaching, I think, because a lot of people come to us because we're the community team, and they might not know about Warframe or know exactly everything, and sometimes we'll do trials out of completely nowhere, and people were like, what is this? Like, I have no idea what this is, because they just see us, you know, doing levels and stuff like that. So, but new stuff is, of course, always going to be exciting.
Was it my turn? I'm on PC, so definitely everything's initiated by what's new.
Right.
I think Warframe is very content driven. You know, there's always a new weapon, a new Warframe. People want to not only play with that stuff, but they want to know what other people think about it. What is the coolest mechanic or something? So it's very like what's new sometimes. I think.
Right.
Yeah, it just depends if there's something new out.
Yeah, no, we don't need to answer all those questions. They were just talking points in case but we talked about that a lot. So, right, this was the Steam graph before Planes of Eidolon. So as you can see, this is a publicly available graph. You guys can all read this. I just wanted to look a little bit at what these mean for streamers. And if you've noticed that obviously the more people play, the more people watch. But when Planes of Eidolon came out, all these numbers became outdated. So there's that.
By a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So we'll talk a bit about, so this was just an example for the fact that the game has grown so much over time. And I think streaming has been a huge part of that because people, like, and again, like most of the people in this room have had a role in becoming experts on the game to cover it for the community that now go to streams for this information. So I was just going to show you that, but again, no no longer relevant. So I think this is like the more fun questions now. If you guys have highlights that you want to talk about of your Warframe streaming coverage career.
Streaming coverage.
And also lowlights, those are fun too.
The what?
Lowlights also.
The
What's
sad
the
times.
worst thing that's ever happened to you on a Warframe stream? You don't have to answer that one if you don't want to.
Vault bug. Warframe highlights? There's so many. Planes of Bionic, I think one of the funnest things, I don't know if how many people in this room saw it, but I was streaming the other day, and you guys have the achievements now.
Yes.
So people are really achievement driven, and we've been going for the slide achievement, which you nerd.
And every streamer just nodded in agreement that we hear. Yeah, sometimes we have to fix things, guys. I'm sorry.
So, I would imagine the best highlight I've had lately is just going for the achievements. And I think there's one moment someone came out of my chat and helped me do the sliding one where it's like 500 meters.
Yep.
And we were going down the hill and we were playing Fantastic Voyage, going all the way down. And it's just getting more and more hype. And then we got to the end and got it and chat just blew up. So I think, yeah, that's like some of the highlights. I think the achievement hunting has been the most fun stuff. Just crazy like community participation stuff.
I think, I'm honestly trying to think of a low point.
Oh, you're going the opposite?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
do it.
not to.
Do it, you gotta change it up.
You don't know what I'm about to say, Beth?
Okay.
So, what I was going to say was, even though it was, we encountered a bug, this was when Shell and I, actually, we were doing a speed run of the Lua operator-only spy mission, and I was beating him, and I was going to win, and I experienced a bug where I just fell to the level and I just watched the world, crumble beneath me, which happens sometimes.
It's a metaphor for life.
Yeah, that is my everyday life. Thank you. But yeah, so that happened. So even though, technically I lost the race, we finished, but I didn't beat him, I didn't complete it fully as I wanted to. It was still it's a highlight, even though you experience a bug. And I think that's the beauty of Warframe is you experience bugs, but
That's the beauty of
No,
Warframe. That could be our boss. The beauty of Warframe is you experience bugs.
You don't know what I was going to say? No, the beauty of Warframe. Is the bugs kind of stop.
That one's gonna end up on the top of Reddit.
Sorry.
Maybe it's the reason we have Warframe bugs. She wants the beauty.
What? I don't break everything I do. What I was gonna say was, even though you experience bugs, the fact that Warframe is such a community-driven game, it becomes not school, but you find a bug and you can talk to each other about it. And for example, we had a recent bug where it was so hard for us to repro it in the studio. And you guys as a community, as streamers, tried so hard to repro it yourself and tell us how to repro it. And even though those are unfortunate things that you encounter, it's still a positive, even though that can be a low. And you spent all out in the plains and you experienced this bug. And you're like, well, that was useless. But at the same time, it's you guys come together and you help us, we help you, and it's a happy family. That's what I was going to say.
Cool. All right, get that whole clip, and then it'll be much better.
Yes,
That's
thank you.
All right, I'll see what else I put here. All right, so this is a question that you guys might have opinions on, being on the outside or the inside. But basically, do you think that streamers have helped shape the experience with their content? And I'm just going to say one thing that I think was the way that streaming really changed everything for me for Warframe was when we released narrative quests like the second dream.
All right.
So this is 2015, so we're talking about an update that happened 2 years ago. I could have had 2 kids by now, but I am frustrated, it's Warframe. We released something that was an actual story in Warframe. We had quests before then, but this was a cinematic one.
It's really changed the game. I'm going to inflate someone's ego right here, but just take a time travel back to exactly what you were talking about when we released Second Dream.
I'm not gonna cry.
I hope so. That's my goal. And this is actually, internally, this is when Rebecca and I sat beside each other very closely. This is the good old days. So we released Second Dream, the studio is pitch black because it's very late hours, and we're still at our desks, A, getting it launched, and B, watching the reactions on streaming. And Mogamu was one of the first people to stream it, and we both had it up on our computers. We literally just were sitting there watching him play it, and his reaction to Second Dream literally gave us tears.
Yeah.
And we clipped it, we showed the entire company, and everyone had the exact same reaction of, we did it, this is exactly what we wanted to achieve. So it's moments like that that not only are amazing for the community team, it's amazing for the entire company. Like, I don't think, especially the streamers and the partners that are here, I don't think you guys, like, what you guys do uplifts the company completely, especially with the, when we were at TennoCon and the video of you guys, your highlight and your reactions to when we showed the Plains of Eidolon. Like, I have that favorited on my bookmark, on my browser, because I watch it whenever I'm like a little down or something. And just, you guys as a community just like make everything so much better, and us as a company are just like blown away by what you guys do and how positive you guys are.
The first thing we do when we release update is open Twitch and open streams, because it's like we need to see real reactions to what we just released. So we can make sure we're on the right track, which is how I think the content has been shaped a little bit by that. Just because really the designers, everyone on the team has someone's stream open. It's different, you know, it's really sensational to see Twitch have a role in our release cycle, so that the first thing we do is watch people play the game we just released instantly. So.
And that randomly all of a sudden there'll be a clip from, you know, one of you guys, Mogamu, whoever, playing the Plains, for example, and it'll be a level designer or it'll be an artist who have noticed something that maybe you guys don't catch, but we catch is wrong, and they're like, oh, this guy's playing it, look what he encountered, and we fix it like almost right away. So you guys help us more than you know, I think.
More than you know, Mogamu, but now you know.
Are you crying?
I'm just trying to make you cry up here, it's
Yeah.
fine, we'll get there.
I guess it's hard to say how we affect the game. I think that's more of a question for you guys, but you guys definitely listen to us. I can say that. I don't know how that input is taken and then processed through the DE process, whatever. But it really feels like we can come to you guys and say, I like this, I love this, can you take a look at this? And it is always like really absorbed, and we appreciate that, I think.
First one to shed a tear loses. All right, let's see what else. So yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know a little bit of stats, and I have some graphs there for everyone. So if you're here professionally or whatever term, we do a lot of Warframe streams. The way they distribute in terms of viewership, our dev streams are our most viewed internally, with all the other ones really equal around the way there. So if any developers out there are thinking of doing dev streams, I highly recommend it. This is just proof that they're worth it. It took us, we actually have our 100th dev stream is our next one. So that's going to be in November. So that's coming up. So that's just a stats one. And then for you guys, we have a lot of official partners. So this was just a reminder that we do have a program and that we have a lot of amazing people, most of them in this room, who are on it. And I actually can't read it because I have numbers there. Okay, so this is a really exciting part of the panel that is brand new, and it's about Twitch Drops. So Twitch Drops is something that we launched a pretty ambitious campaign with Twitch with. And you know, we've seen it on the inside, we saw it roll out, but I think my first question to Mogamu is, you know, you knew Twitch Drops was coming.
Yeah.
And what you expected, and how do you feel about it?
Well, more than what I expected, because I was thinking like just my audience or people who already watch me would come and try to get it, and it would be very, very much a kind of tribal, who's your favorite content creator thing. But God, no. Like, the entire Warframe community is like, Mogamu, get the achievement for me now. But it's, yeah.
Guilty.
But it wasn't like a pressure thing, though. I think you guys know that. It was like we wanted to get the achievements of people. But oh man, like it's just so insane when people are tuning in, and a lot of people are tuning in, and you finally get the achievement or whatever it is, and the chat goes crazy, and it is a very like I'm
Oh, this is yours.
it's really cool. I think because Warframe is so community driven, to see something like that where people are actually like getting something out of it, or they're actually rooting for the streamer to actually do something, that is crazy. And I don't know if any other games really doing that, but I would imagine a lot of people want to be doing that now.
Yeah, we were definitely on the, it's a newer technology on Twitch's behalf, so we were really happy to integrate it. And we did it, they actually included it in their dev days, like our ambitious campaign and stuff. And it was really cool to see. So I assume you want us to continue doing Twitch drops.
Yes. I have some suggestions though. Can we
Let's
make
hear it. No, I said real-time feedback on this slide.
It definitely needs to be every time.
What do you mean?
Like if we do survive tonight,
Like more than once?
Wait, you mean
every
don't
time
have
we do
bugs?
I
don't understand.
You know, like every time we do it, it should, whoever's watching that stream, if they don't have that achievement, you know, it don't unlock it for them, so we don't have to like reset it or type of thing, you know what I'm saying?
That way we don't have to be like, or they don't have to be like,
Bouncing
we
around.
already did that.
Right.
I see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you done the achievement? Have you done the achievement?
Right.
Have you done the
Then
achievement yet? Have
it
you done it
doesn't
yet?
become so much that it's like, will you do the achievement today?
Gotcha.
Good feedback, great feedback. See, that's why we're here. I love it.
Yeah, no, we're pretty, yeah, so I think, I understand what you're saying, so we can make our, like, I mean, we really did 3 campaigns at once, which is
Yeah.
pretty aggressive, but,
It's really good.
yeah, it's really fun though, and the great thing about the Twitch Drops tool, if anyone out there is looking to integrate it, is for us at least, it's systemic now, so we have the parameters that we can set with campaigns that we can create with the technology, so it's not like it expired after the expiry date, we get to keep using it. So are you excited to come up with some silly drops campaigns?
I'm excited.
Yes, please.
If you have any suggestions or feedback, so my Twitter handle is there. Let me know.
So-
Or tell me.
Do you think that the Twitch Drops is equally beneficial for the streamer and the community, or do you think it leans more one way?
I guess I haven't really viewed streams for it yet, so it's kind of hard for me to say. It might be better for someone else to answer. But for us, I mean, not just like a view thing, but it just feels good to have more connection. So 100% beneficial for us. But I do need to get out and watch more streams and get stuff.
And I think especially it was a driving point for people that, considering the amount of viewers, you guys got from doing this campaign, who may not, really follow you or know Warframe at all, when they kind of found out that, oh, when this person does something, I could get something, I'm going to download Warframe. So I think it benefits you, it benefits the community as a whole, and it benefits Warframe as a whole, obviously, which was the end goal.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see what else I have on this slideshow here. Oh, all right, so this was a question for myself. No, that doesn't make sense. Did I quit?
You ask yourself a question, that's fine.
No, I think this is just a question about future content in Warframe, because if you've played Warframe for a long time, or if you're new to it, you kind of know that social proof is sort of a big thing for games in the modern gaming area. And for us to develop something like the Plains of Eidolon, which this question was asked before it released, but again, here we are. The streamability of those things and just making sure that we're doing things in our game that are fun to cover and watch. So what do you think the biggest challenge for the office has been in having a very, very active streamer base that is going to right away stream whatever we're making?
Yeah, I remember when, we did Second Dream and War Within, and every single time we did those updates, me personally, I was like, we can't top this. Like, this is the end, this is it. There's nothing we can do. And then we always find a way to top it. So as much as I have that question looming, I know we can top it. I know we will top it. So the challenge is just figuring out what that is. And it may seem very daunting, especially when you're developing the thing that you're most excited to go out, and you yourself probably don't know how you're going to top it. But once you see the reaction and get all the feedback from it, then you kind of feel like, okay, I know what we can do differently, I know we can do better, and we can do it bigger, and that's what we can do.
I think for anyone out there that's on the dev side of things, or even anyone that plays Warframe, which is a lot of in the room, I think an example for this is Lunaro. We tried to make a competitive mode for the game that we thought would be streamed a lot, and we thought it would be, embraced by the community. The whole dev team was really hyped for it, and if you know Warframe now, you know that no one really is, there's not really a big Lunaro community, and the challenge for us is thinking we have something and then realizing, short after that, really, okay, that didn't resonate and why, and then you just need to figure out what the lessons are from that and then keep applying it.
Yeah.
So Lunaro is the complete opposite of Plains of Eidolon, which launched, and then you can see how you go from sort of not such a success to what now is really a big thing for Warframe.
And ChannelCon was obviously super helpful in seeing real-time, excitement over something. Obviously, Lunaro kind of came out of nowhere, talked about it, and then it happened, and then you weren't really able to gauge if it was going to be good or not. Because internally, we always think everything's great. Yeah, we think we're going to love everything. But But when Lenaro came out, it was like, we're just sitting there like, are they gonna love it? But when TennoCon happened and you guys saw the teaser for Plains of Eidolon, they're like, yeah, they're gonna like it. They're gonna like it, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't really play Lunaro, right? Hey, I'm not gonna be mad.
We played it on prime time once, and that was fun.
You know what it
was a
is?
good time.
I think we love it. I'm fine with the way you guys experiment. You have to experiment.
Right.
Sure.
If you don't experiment, we don't get Parkour 2.0. We don't get Planes of Vital Lines. And I think that experimentation is a double-edged sword.
Totally.
Sometimes you'll do stuff that will be like, oh, that's kind of cool. And sometimes you will stand up at TennoCon and cheer for like 10 minutes. It is a double-edged sword, but I'm glad you guys do it because some people won't have the courage. So.
It's very, very tricky if you really are invested in something and then you release it and it just kind of goes, oh. But yes, so I think I just had some questions about what do you prefer streaming for Warframe, but this is a pretty casual panel, so we don't really need to listen to the slides. They're just a guiding light, not the rule setter. But do you think if Warframe had more PvP content, it would be good or bad for the streaming community?
PvP or
PvP.
PvP is tough. I think that we don't really have a competitive community in a way. I think we have something very different. Yeah, I think it's more like participation. It's more like shared experience. I think that's why people love the second dream so much. PvP not so much. So, but it's not impossible. You know, you guys might roll out something one day that'll change our minds. But I think we're very like getting together and laughing and crying or making memes about the stuff we already have and kind of sharing.
Yeah, I think that for PvP, I love PvP personally. I love killing my friends. I think it's a great idea. No, because that's what kind of brings me back to the whole is everything streamable. Like PvP for me is streamable because as a person who rage quits a lot, it's entertaining for people to watch someone rage quit. And when I watch people who, it's kind of new players versus veteran players, people who played it for a long time. New players, when they play PvP, it's exciting to them. I think I watched someone recently who they were invited to someone's dojo and they dueled them. They were just having the greatest time. But a veteran player probably doesn't really look at that because they're more looking at the narrative stuff and the lore stuff, something that's going to progress them. So for new players, I think it's fun for them to experience for a bit. But I would love to see, personally, more PvP in Warframe.
Interesting. You can start your own little PvP stream if you
I'm
want
gonna
it.
do it. I'm
Just
gonna do it.
take down all these fools out here.
Who wants to like Oh. I take that. All right. My plane is down, so I'm just gonna go.
All right, so I think we already kind of talked about that one a little bit, so this was just whether or not Mogamu had good answers, but you did have good answers, so we don't need to talk about that. All right, so what is Warframe's future? Guess who made this presentation before Plains of Eidolon? I did. Oh, sweet, there it is. That's cool. Can we call this Warframe 2, Mogamu? You asked that, so let's answer. Let's hear it.
Call it Warframe 2. I don't know, can we? Is that fair?
Not yet. I don't think so. I don't know. I think it's just like it's the beginning.
It's a new beginning. Yeah, I think it's opportunity.
Exactly.
Vote
This is
rewards.
better for sure.
So for those of you who don't know, this is when we launched the Plains of Eidolon update 8 days ago on PC. They should tremble. But it's a big update. It's a really big pivot for Warframe. And it is, it's an open area to the game. And it was highly anticipated.
You know what? Maybe not Warframe 2, but I think what you guys have done with this is basically set the framework for widening the scope a lot more. And one of the things, like I was trying to figure out why a lot of us love the plane so much. I think it's because when you're in the tile set, it's very constricting.
Yep.
But when you're out on the plains and you're like bullet jumping and flipping, like you feel challenged. Like you can go faster and faster and faster. There's nothing holding you back. So the scope is a lot wider, and it's really like just unleashing, what you can actually do. Because I mean, you think about the typical MMO, it's a little static, and then you got Warframe doing this, and you're just like flying and flipping. So it's definitely the framework for something a lot bigger. Yeah, even if it's not cheap.
Hey, that's your quote, so
Hey, try to make it work.
yeah, so we know it's not Warframe 2.
Yeah,
It's at least fun to think that, as far as the direction for the game goes, that we could get, something pretty special.
Yeah, we can continue, because clearly it's a positive reaction. We want to do this.
Are you recording me?
That's so weird.
I'm right here.
Yeah, I can hear you. But yeah, so we obviously know it's not rebranded Warframe 2 now. It is just, I said this earlier to a couple of people, that it just kind of breathed life into Warframe, a new life and a new kind of approach. Obviously, there's still everything that you've already played and you already know about Warframe. It's still there, but this is just kind of giving you more of a reason to jump in and kind of experience it all over again.
This is the tricky part of the panel where it's Saturday night and it's a really big after party, so I don't want to I know if anyone has questions, you can probably start lining up pretty soon, or you can just yell them from your seat because, you don't have to get up. But I'm just going to see how many, so the planes, I think you guys know it is the most anticipated update ever. It's already out, and it has broken every record, I think, in Warframe's history, which is pretty cool. So anything that we thought we had, we would never peak at, it's actually surpassed it, which if you're a part of this community, you have everything to do with that success, so thank you. And, it hasn't been more fun to stream.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can say we'll be honest here, I have a very low attention span. So when I stream Warframe or any game, it would usually be like 2 or 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. And I've done 12-hour plays by my streams and not felt it. Like legitimately, I'm sitting there going, have I eaten today? and literally having to say, guys, I'm so sorry, and apologize to people for leaving. But more fun to stream, yeah. Like it's easy. It's easy to lose yourself in it. So yeah.
And I think for us, a few of you obviously know this, but especially with the Twitch Drops campaign and Plains of Eidolon, our partners and the people that stream it regularly, their viewership exploded, and it was so great for them. And for us, that was amazing to see that you guys did that. And that really, again, brought the company up. And it Plains of Eidolon represents just how much our streamers and our community love Warframe and how much we can give back to them and they can give back to us. So Plains of Eidolon it's fun to stream. I'll agree with that.
Yes. There you go. That's cool.
Once it becomes a console, it'll be even funner.
Oh, yeah. do you plan on visiting on console again, Mogamu? Because you have a PS4 account, I think.
Probably not.
Yeah, and that's all right.
I will. I'll stream it.
That's cool. And you'll have your
Slap well. Wait, Slap, you're on Xbox One, right? Yeah. You on play? Yeah. All right. Well, fun.
So you're going from fighting people to playing with them. It's cool. It's cool.
Both. You can fight me and play with me. Sorry. You know Warframe, that's it happens a lot. Wait, yeah, no, sorry.
And I don't know if in the room, if people have noticed, for DE in particular, we tried to do more on Twitch this year as well. With the Drops campaign, Steve had his streams that he had to stop because he had to develop the game, but even, Glenn has been streaming more. So the team has been getting on Twitch more to be a part of the community and just to showcase more of what we're doing and just be more open, which is just a fact list in case anyone who's here professionally and is wondering if our staff stream. The answer is yes. Right, so I just want to talk a little bit then about any questions you guys might have. So I know a lot of people are probably itching to go to the Saturday night party. This is their last panel in the room, so I feel really bad for the guys that have been doing panels all day. So feel free to either go up to the microphone or shout out questions about Warframe. I see 2 fingers up back there, so I'll...
So I've got a question about, and this, coming into this, I was actually kind of thinking the question about, what content is or is not worth streaming was about well, if you're going to be sitting there playing with your arsenal for 2 hours, is that really worth putting on camera? And, I got to ask.
People say yes, it is worth doing that.
So the thing I was going to ask is are there going to be plans for more points of integration? Like every 1,000 times you change something in your arsenal, your viewers get a new shade of purple unlocked.
So the question was, I think that actually it just occurred to me, the microphones are there so the people at home can hear the questions. Duh, it's not for me, I can hear you, it's for them. But the question was if we are going to add arsenal-based drops for viewers. And right now the way the stuff is integrated is it does not do that, sadly, but maybe one day because we have the source code. So.
Yeah, and I think just going backwards in your question when you talked about is, sitting in your arsenal for 2 hours streamable, it depends on how you make it streamable. Like if you're sitting there just not talking to anyone and just like focused on it, maybe not so entertaining. But if you approach it from like a learning standpoint, and if chat can help you out and you're helping chat answering questions and make it more learning based, then totally fair.
You know, someone's actually done it right.
Is that like a tutorial on modding, is it there?
Bikeman did a stream where the only thing he did was go through his arsenal and change the Warframes, and he played I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt.
Yes, he did do that.
Streaming. Yeah, he made it work.
Yeah.
I think what's really cool about that is when Plains of Eidolon hit, we saw a lot of people that had never played Warframe before pick it up, and they spent so much time in the arsenal.
Yeah.
It was like, they were like, oh wait, this can change color too, and they were figuring out like all the color channels. And I
Yeah,
was
like
just,
when we say Fashion Frame's endgame, like it is. Like it's crazy that actually is.
all right, we'll take a mic question now.
So, as y'all know, I do stream, and I get questions from my audience all the time about why we don't only set it up as 4 people in the place.
Right.
Will there ever be the chance of us doing 8 people like a raid?
So performance was one of the huge reasons for that. We didn't want to start huge and have everything fall apart. We'd rather see how it performed at 4 people. We have a min spec support down to like Windows XP, 32-bit systems, and if you have 8 people and any of those people are matchmaking, that creates problems. We know that's going to make problems, so we'd rather make it work in the way we intend it to be, which is a 4-player co-op, and then go from there. And I think we have some pretty upcoming plans, maybe not for 8 people just yet, but there's going to be some really interesting things coming, so maybe. We'll see. If Steve's watching, he can text me. Are you watching, Steve? If you are, you can answer the 8-player question and I'll read it from my telephone. Steve.
I've got a question for all of you. Ask you in the background.
Oh, now it's on.
Okay, so for like the Twitch drops, are you guys planning on doing it for like non-partner streamers?
Yeah, it is. It looks right now. So, yeah, so we set up, we had 3 campaigns, and the first 2 campaigns were anyone streaming Warframe from the directory were included in the drops. And then the last one was a partner and handpicked group exclusive. So every Warframe partner was on it, and then there were some people that aren't Warframe partners, but we know they like the game, then we asked them if they wanted to be a part of it. So, yeah, so the answer is yes.
Okay. And then back to the PvP kind of thing we're talking about.
I don't know why you looked at me there.
Battle Royale.
Oh my goodness. We joke about that in the office every single day.
You guys already have a huge map you can play with.
And we have stalker mode, so why not just put them together and have a 100-person stalker mode?
I think I gave.
Yes, I have a sheet of his thoughts on Warframe Battle Royale.
2-hour flight of notes.
Oh, that makes sense.
That'll be it for now. I'll go back around.
Well, in my case, mine is more of a comment on what you mentioned about wanting to do PvP. I would absolutely agree with you that I would love to see most of the streamers that I follow battle it out against each other, especially with the mobility that you have with most of the Warframes. I think it would be absolutely fantastic to watch.
Are you not
watch them all go at it and see who comes out on top.
I think we could do a really fun PvP partner charity event.
Even just 4v4 would be.
Yeah, we could have like all the partner.
Warframe for all of us.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That's what I mean. My content is shareable. Like, I know that a lot of people play PvP, and then you see ideas like this, and that makes it new and exciting. We can do a fight me.
We could do a tournament.
Fight me
Charity
tournament.
tournament.
Fight the devs. Fight each other.
So you would watch that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
and I know, Mogamu, yeah. You were saying how one of your favorite things was the openness of the planes and everything, but realistically, I guess my question is, how much of that have you actually spent fishing?
Let's hear it.
Well, I am the best fisherman in the game, so.
I'm sorry.
Challengers, I don't have a problem.
You haven't even caught up 40 kilograms.
I'm up to like 38.9. What do you want from me?
How many boots?
Have you got a Nord yet?
Sounds like there
Good
needs
It sounds like there's going to be some competition here.
Sounds like there needs to be some sort of fishing with your boys.
We actually had one prototype, but we'll see. That's not a promise that we're going to release it, but there was someone said we got to do the leaderboard, and the one guy that usually do the leaderboard, he was like, I can't do this. It's too intense. Like they care too much. They will destroy. No, we'll see what we can do. I know Steve wanted something like that, so.
We'll see.
That's awesome. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, yeah, good question.
Hello, sir.
Thanks again for the comment.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
That was okay. I was like, I didn't get a comic book. Who picked it up? Oh, okay.
So then again, this isn't so much a question about streaming, so much it is about the game. Is that still acceptable?
Of course, yes.
Right. Do you guys plan on expanding houses like to certain planets? Like, it would be really cool to see Eris, for instance. Like, houses will be reclaimed by the infestation. Like, we can see like the surface of Eris, and it's like maybe the infestation. Do you guys plan on doing like any specific updates to the tile sets, like expanding them?
We are planning on adding more open landscapes across the solar system. So the focus now is really to take what we did for Earth and bring it as many places as we can. So Eris is, we have some infestation plans in the future. Eris, you'll see something before you see Eris though. So that'll be quick. Ice is,
I hear that one a lot, yeah, ice.
you guys just want Hoth, all right?
I know what you're saying.
All you want is like instead of the little birds, you want a tauntaun. I know. You want us, but yeah. So you will see some infested things. Welcome. Hello.
Hello, I'm David Postman.
Great shoes.
Thank you.
Oh, those socks. My man.
I love the socks.
My man.
Well, I like your fanny pack.
Yeah. I
Hey, okay, that's impressive.
like. Wait, are you wearing a Postman beanie?
Yes, Postman.
I like it. Sorry.
I am a content creator for Twitch, and I have to say, fantastic game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love what you guys did. I streamed it one day, and it just blew my mind. I downloaded it a long time ago, a few years back, and didn't go back to it. And then a friend of mine started playing it, so I got into it when you guys rolled out the new content, and it's amazing. So I think I'll be streaming a lot more. The young gentleman actually took my question. I had a viewer in my chat, that knew I was coming to TwitchCon and wanted to ask if there was going to be any more open world planets.
The next one is going to be bigger, and it's going to be a little more, not, I don't want to say alien, but it's you know how Earth, like if you've played Earth RPGs, we tried to make Earth our own with the sentient graveyards, but you know Earth. I think we all live on it.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Maybe.
We're gonna go somewhere we don't live on as a planet. So it'll be fun.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And you're all right.
I'm back.
Hit him.
So I saw on one of your slides extensions for Twitch.
Yes.
What were you guys thinking about that?
So I was specking out one for loadouts because Warframe as a game, if you're playing, I know it's not functioning yet. We're just still talking about making sure that we do it right, with our first debut into extensions, because obviously they are. And I mean, I couldn't imagine by that response that we should probably pick up the pace, but at the very least, we really want to do something that a viewer can just look and hover over and see what they're using, the mod loadout thing, it would be opt-in, because I think modding in Warframe can be a sensitive area, because a lot of streamers maybe are learning and experimenting, and the community really are experts with modding, so you might want to not have everyone see what you're using until you're ready to talk about it, but the loadout itself would be.
I'd seen kind of the similar thing with the Destiny. So
Yeah, it goes back to what you're saying. If I'd done that, you'd be coming into my chat and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just saying that I'd seen a similar thing with Destiny.
Yes.
All that stuff too. So
Yeah, the Destiny loaded extension is amazing, and they have an amazing thing there, so that's really cool.
Okay. Another one. I don't know if you guys talked about it before with the Arcwing weapons.
Oh yes,
Like with the Plains Vylon.
they're too heavy with gravity. It's a gravity thing.
Blame on gravity.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so I was starting to write everyone's name that I recognized here to thank you all for coming, but then I realized there's too many and I can't fit them all. So except Aiden, I'll say hi to Aiden.
Yeah, he ate it, looks like. He's right there.
Sorry, plain clothes Aiden. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of Warframe partners and people that are interested in the game in the room, and you're the reason that we do anything. And of course, Mogamu I think he was the first person that ever made a Warframe video that really got shared around the office so we could see what was, coming. So to have you up here. Yeah.
Is it crying yet?
Yeah, no, we're just trying to get those tears of.
Sorry.
But yeah, so if anyone has any questions, otherwise, oh, yes.
I actually have two questions.
All right, what's up?
First one is actually for you.
So
So I
Please don't be a space
series
nerd.
where,
Again.
So my first question is actually for you, Rebecca.
Yes.
On your Twitter page, you have your bird. Does your bird know that you kill birds in the plane?
I feel like you put the picture up because of the whole bird.
It's plausible deniability, right? that bird signifies that maybe I actually like birds. So, you know, you'll have to keep you guessing.
You never know.
Okay. Second question was due to the fact that in your ship, the infestor room has fish in there as well.
It does.
Will we possibly also be able to get the fish that we fish on the planes into like a fish tank kind of
Aquarium.
I feel like we could arrange that.
I feel like we could also do more with the boot.
The boot as well.
Yes.
Yes, the boot is amazing.
It's about time.
That's our Canadian way.
It's a boot time. Thank you.
All right. Oh, yes.
I got two questions too. One, are the Twitch drops gonna be?
Like,
People want you to go. Now you gotta like.
Oh no, that's probably the reason why I didn't want to get it. I know.
It's like, which way is he gonna go? It's gonna go Shura or Adelpho's way. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Well, that's the Warframe community in a nutshell. There's it's a cooperative panel.
Okay, so first question is, will Twitch drops be for console as well, since we don't get plans for a certain amount of time?
We are planning on having it launch the same 2-week period for console streamers. So we tested it, it works. Obviously the first one also didn't work even though we tested it, so that is the plan.
Okay, and my second question is there ever going to be a way for like I have a lot of new players in my stream, and so one of the questions I always ask is it's really hard for them to obtain like weapon and Warframe slots.
Yes.
So is there a way that we could ever incorporate that into Twitch drops, or like another way to incorporate it into the game other than buying them?
So maybe. The problem is with Warframe, because it's free, is that we need to make sure that we have it set up in a way that a lot of things have a really good value for someone to consider either trading platinum to buy them or to support us. So the slot system is probably one of the most that comes under fire as, okay, well, it's not really free to play if you're limiting my capacity. So we do talk about it a lot internally. The way that works in drops, it's not actually an item, so it's just like a database slot, so it's a little different. But that actually would be a really good thing to include in drops if we could. But I don't know if it's hooked up the same way that items are. Like, a lot of people with drops probably noticed there weren't any resource bundles in it. Like, it was only like a single Latron blueprint, a single Fireburst and stuff. And the reason that is...
Fireworks.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's more in it. And the reason is because you can only do single counts in the current way drops is set up. That's why it's a single nighting and a single resource. So we want to do more with it. So the tech we have on our end, like drops tech works, but for us it's a little limited right now. So I don't know if we could put it in drops, but we would have to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's how they were wondering. They just wanted to know if there's a way to put it in the game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Look who it is. Mr. Shoulders.
Hello. As a streamer and the partner program as a whole, the drops have been amazing for everything. Seeing as you're kind of taking the front lines of integration with Twitch, the drops in the game we're playing, is there any talks of like an extension for builds or like?
I think you missed that.
I missed it. Okay.
And we said no, we're not answering that.
Blame Daniel, not me. He called me.
That's no. We are planning on doing. We're specking one out for loadouts. Oh, cool. So, yeah. I'm excited. And Walksley, I think we'll wrap it up here so that our lovely room folks can go because it's Saturday night. Yeah, I've got a few signs.
This is more of a follow-up on the new player question. Obviously, because Plains was open to everyone, because we wanted everyone to be able to experience it together, how do you feel that the Plains of Eidolon has changed the new player experience, and has it changed the discourse of the new player experience?
It's been rough, I think. It's like we've tried to make it great and put it in a place, but I'm sure we've all seen people go, I have no idea what to do.
There's a weird line between we don't want to hold your hand, we want you to experience it for yourself and kind of figure it out. But there's also a line of we need to kind of give you guidance to get there and then let you experience it for yourself. And we've gotten that feedback for sure from Plains of Eidolon, so it's now taking that and making changes where we need
yeah, improving that is sort of the top of our list, I think, in terms of like obviously the tech itself, but making sure that's something that the dev team is aware of, which they are. It's just, because I think a lot of new players really are going to be in for a different world with having CDIS right on the new player progression path.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Like even the day before we left to come to TwitchCon, we made the change of even the message of the day in CDIS telling you what actually CDIS is, and like there's vendors, because before that was just welcome to CDIS, and that was it. And like a simple text like that can help some people.
Yeah.
So it's things like that that we try to integrate, and we need to do more. So
If you're used to MMOs, traditionally they have channel messages that you read and you learn a little bit about what's going on. And we lacked that when we launched our planes, but that's changed. But yeah, I think, anything you want to add to that? You're not a new player, but you've probably seen a lot of them struggle there.
Anything to add? No, thanks for having me. TwitchCon hype. And I think I shared this with you guys before. Like it's pretty nutty if you've been here since Corpus Tile set Grenier, right? And for us, that was literally it. I think the highest ranked Warframe is Rhino.
Yep.
We may have had 7, maybe 12 weapons. And to see Eidolon drop, it was pretty crazy.
what's next for you, when you get home?
Oh my God, more fishing, probably.
Yeah. And I see the beautiful Warframe team is just coming in as we just finished the Q&A. So we love you guys. We love you guys. We're just about to wrap up, so you can all go line up. Who did what? Christine did. Oh, that's nice. So again, thanks everyone for coming to the panel. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not. Oh yeah, we're good. We're just about to have 10 minutes left. So we'll let everyone go to the party. Our lovely room folks can, enjoy their Saturday nights. And the Warframe team is probably starting. Yeah, I see nods. Okay, so I see a big nod over there. All right. And again, to the Warframe partners in the room, for the Warframe players in the room, Megan, Mogamu, thank you so much. This game would be nothing without you guys. We turn on your streams when we release stuff, when we don't release stuff, just to watch you in the world of Warframe. So, yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, guys.